Hello.
Hello. Hi. Sorry I'm late.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm Agamemnon.
Nice to meet you.
This is Elmore House on the Loughborough Estate.
Fantastic, yeah.
This is, there's 63 flats, and this is the first building in the UK to have a community-owned renewable energy project on social housing.
Wow. Well, can you show me around then?
I'd love to.
Yeah.
So
Fantastic.
come in, this is a solar-powered lift.
Amazing. Solar power lift.
So this is it. 137 panels on the top of Elmore House in Brixton. I'm Agamemnon Otero. I'm the Chief Exec for Repowering, and I've been focusing on doing social development projects across the most fuel-poor areas in London. All global finance, 97% of global capital is tied to fossil fuels, like the cars, the roads, the infrastructure of these things. We moved from gold to oil, and then oil to where now, right? Gold to coal to oil, where does it go now? Centralized energy has become the gold standard of a country. Massive infrastructure projects like dams. Why are they so great? Why is China spreading dams across the world? It's because it's a fantastic revenue generator. It's a long-term, 100-year bond. So if I was the Exchequer, I would put in some support towards renewable energies, because it's a cooperative way of working on a fundamental pillar of society around food and energy, healthcare and water, the sort of fundamental pillars. I would focus in on energy, and I would say, reclassify what David Cameron called green crap, and I would say, well, I know that the £137 which are given, taken out of your annual bill, about £1,400, would go towards subsidizing renewables, because we know that they produce less carbon. Then I would put tax incentives in, because right now, it's not that I'm saying we need a leg up, renewables are great, and I'm asking for this box to be able to give renewables this sort of leg up. I'm actually asking for a level playing field. Gas and fossil fuels, nuclear, gets preferential treatment. It gets a tax subsidy prior, and it gets post. So what I would say is, let's have a level playing field. Either they lose their tax subsidy, which would fill this up fivefold, or we give a pre and a post-tax subsidy. So that would mean like enterprise investment scheme, or the seed enterprise investment scheme, which provides 50% tax back for enterprises, would then be allowed to develop that on community projects like this. That way you'd really incentivize a movement around social business that had a financial revenue, a financial return, because what we don't want is to say, what we're looking for is a handout. No, we are going to rethink social enterprise and local ownership so that communities like this feel empowered to stay in these places. The current financial instruments are based around consumption and fiduciary responsibility, which in my reality is greed. It's like highest return in the shortest amount of time. Global systems are predicated on fiduciary responsibility. Therefore, a reasonable return over a reasonable amount of time is out the door. And renewables are a reasonable amount of return over a reasonable amount of time. So holding this in my hand, I feel like it's important to look at it in a global context, because the UK plays such a powerful role in the international discussion and debate around innovative finance. But people forget the labor context. For me, standing up on a co-op, one of the first energy co-ops that I built over 9 years ago, I realized that behavior change starts by allowing people into that and think about labor and labor laws. And if we started thinking about, for all these planes that are going over us, if they were paying for the carbon that they generated in building them and when they're moving, the way that money flows would be very different. So wherever this briefcase was made, let's say, those people doing that work in that place has carbon being generated, and yet we buy it here and we don't have to pay for that carbon. those places have had to pay for that. If we had labor laws which said the people who work in this area are paid this money, and the spaces that have sucked in all that carbon dioxide are remunerated for that, then we'd have a very different financial system. The fulcrum point is actually is not allowing international companies to get away with creating things in other countries and then not paying for all the outputs and not paying the same rate. So you get someone to make something for £5, generate tons of carbon dioxide, then bring it over here and sell it for £500. You're not paying for the carbon, you're not paying for the true labor. You're effectively destroying a global system and you're propelling this consumptive nature. So what I would do is I would put in place a system that said, we are going to facilitate your company to pay the wages for these products in this country. The state is already subsidizing these corporates to take money out of the system and to deplete monies from third world areas where these assets are still. So it's about how do we be an example of setting a carbon price for everything that we consume.
Were you part of Extinction Rebellion?
Yeah, I went every day. I saw what they were doing. I really feel like protest is in and of itself important, but if you want to be a true revolutionary, you pick up the paving stones and plant vegetables and you put solar panels on your rooftop and join together in cooperation.